So we are really grateful for your presence. Thank you for the honor. Thank you for the privilege. And we have a few questions here as expected. And I will try and take a couple of them. There are a lot, but we just have a few minutes to spend here. So I'm going to just take a few, and we'll be happy to have your wisdom. You share your wisdom with us on these questions. So I want to start with, there's a question here that says, this will be for Pastor Larry. When you spoke about people getting promoted beyond their capacity, and you said that the person is building on a weak foundation, how would you rate the role of political skills? Okay, I think that is not really coherent. Okay, it was mixed up. When you spoke about people getting promoted beyond their capacity and you said the person is building on a weak foundation, does promotion necessitate 100% knowledge and skills, despite knowing that learning does not end? Then how do you reconcile such promotion with weak foundation and people that have sustained promotion with weak foundation? In other words, do people bypass building on a weak foundation? Thank you, sir.
Thank you for that question. So I'm going to cite something that I learned from Mr. ID. I met him sometimes in 2010 or 11, and around the time I was like an area sales manager shortly after, and there was a session he anchored. I was not there, but one of my friends was there, and he told me what he said. And he said, all of you guys, commercial guys, wants to do MBA. He says, when you do MBA, specialize in finance. I didn't understand what it means. And I will tell you today. So today, I'm head of commercial, but I've seen that advice he gave years ago, because there are things people see. Now I'm coming to being promoted out of the competence, because I've been a salesman all my life. Now you talk about EBIT, EBITDA, you talk about a lot of things that were not natural to you. And I tell people, see, one of the people you can make your best friend in organization are guys in finance. Finance sees end-to-end what happens in the organization. They are the ones that have the most clear thought about your situation of the organization. In the sense that from what comes in, what goes out, salary, whether you're able to pay in the next 6 months, whether you survive, finance guys are your best friend. They understand end-to-end. So what I would say is that being promoted out of competence is that you come to a place that as you go up, it's not about your technical competence. You need some conceptual learnings that are not natural to you, because you become MD, you know HR, you know, it's not about what led you to become the MD. There are now other things that are required of you, apart from the technical skill that promoted you to the position in quote in the first place. So I would say that if you have a weak foundation, it's going to show, because when we get to meetings, my job is not to deliver top line alone now. I have bottom line responsibility. And before, as a salesman, I just look, I want to sell. Now, I need to sell intelligently. I need to sell profitably, which is not a training. A salesman is just like, I met my target. So there are different levels of competence that needs to be developed for where you are going. And you need people who have been there to take your hand along. If they promote, you'll be confused, because you'll be wondering that what brought you the position is no longer sustaining you in the position. And then you wonder what happened. It's because you have been promoted out of competence. So there is no way, if you miss certain foundation, it will show. When they are talking, you will see where people are talking from. From the point of investor, you will know that it's not just about you delivering, but about delivering in line with the company objective. So I would say that if you have a foundation that is shaky, there is an extent to which political machinations can take you to. It will get to a point that you will be on your own. And at that point, what you know is what is going to count. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much for that insightful answer. So this question is for Mr. Anthony. It says, sir, you talked about having a structured approach to learning. And how can one, for example, upskill as a 9-to-5er who barely has time during the week? And this question came up like 3 times. Somebody else said that he needs clarity on what structured mentoring means and how to go about it. So structured learning for those that want to upskill, they feel that they're very busy and they don't have time. That, okay, when will I have the time in my schedule to upskill? Then somebody's asking about mentoring as well. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thanks for the question. You see, in terms of having a clear and structured learning goals, For me, I don't particularly align with one particular method, but there are many different methods and approaches. But there's one that I would recommend, the 70-20-10 principle. 70, basically on-the-job experiences, initiatives, stretch assignments on the job. 20 from mentoring, coaching, then 10 from your formal learning. You enroll for a course, you go for a short or MBA, like we've all discussed. You see, don't underestimate the importance of learning on the job. That as well is structured, and you can give it more clarity. My biggest learnings were learnings on the job. You were talking about EBIT just now. I saw the need, and I've also listened to highly esteemed Mr. ID a lot of times. First time meeting him in person. Good to see you, sir. I noticed it while I always wanted to do general management, always. In fact, before I entered into the world of work, I knew some things early enough. I was chartered CIPM before I entered into the corporate world. I knew something. I wanted to go to that point. So as a commercial person, it was all sales, top line, delivery, But in sitting and listening to others, you see, I learned so much by observation. And that's what I have come to realize about myself. Maybe it's the same for you. You need to know your learning style and what works for you. That's first. Having clear and structured goals is with respect to your learning style, how you learn. So I sit down and I listen to people. It will shock you what I've learned today. And the goals I have developed from it. It will shock you. It will shock you. Just by listening, just by observing, I learned a lot. I wanted to be more adept with finance, the finance metrics and the rest. Of course, I did short courses here and there, some in London, I did some short courses. But my biggest learnings were just listening to the finance professionals speak and asking them questions. My commercial finance business partner, I listened to them. They would talk, I said, okay, this top line. Then I stopped top line discussion because I was very vast in it. So I came down from operating expenses down. I was just having conversation. Now, I got to my current role. They were just talking, and it's like the P&L sits in my head. You see, from top line to bottom line, sit here. What I can point to the learning was the conversations I was having. Some of them 15 minutes here, 10 minutes here. Don't underestimate it. Your biggest learning opportunities are from there. You see, if you have to write. If you have to block somebody's calendar to say, take me through this in 15 minutes. You understand? Don't take too much of their time because they're very busy. Sometimes, especially during month-end, don't ask them month-end reporting. So take them, let them take you. You have mentors like that. It can be at work. It can be outside of work. There are many guys on LinkedIn today that do lots of infographics, that makes financial reporting very simple. Chat them up. Some, if you need to pay, why not? Depending on if you can. So do that. This is what I mean by structured, clear learning. So look at it. What do I need to learn? Note it down. Sometimes relating with a mentor helps you to even know what to learn. You might not know what to learn. You get what I mean? So when you relate to them, they've gone ahead and say, okay, you need to learn this. Oh, what is that? Then you pick it, you define it, then you start going with it. Then give yourself certain timeline to close. Then have milestones. Okay, what is the picture of success is? What is the picture of success rather? If I have achieved this learning goal, paint all those things, learn from professionals, and you will find out that you move and change levels in a very short time. I'm telling you, because you have experienced people all around that are guiding you. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay. Yes, please.
Look at learning like when rain falls. Rain is not one long streak of water. It's drops. The problem is that we're waiting for the when we have time for a big storm to go and sit down and get soaked in it. If you take it as little streaks, what am I learning every day? It's not about intensity. It's consistency over time. So even for a working mom here listening, I'm wondering, they're not even talking to me. These people, I'm not among in this thing they are saying. Use your social media as a learning opportunity. Intentionally curate those that you are following on Instagram, on LinkedIn, so that whenever you are scrolling, something is entering. So be intentional. Look for a podcast that, okay, while the children are getting ready for school, I will be playing this podcast. Even if it's one sentence that enters, let's work with that.
Wow, thank you so much. Yeah, very, very insightful. Thank you. And I have this question for Mr. ID. What are the signs to look out for to know when to leave an organization, aside getting a better offer? So aside the money part.
Sorry, don't mind me. I'm laughing because I like the fact that you said apart from the money part, but that is the part that makes a lot of you move. You're trying to... I'll answer your question by sending you to a reading space. Go read a book called Who Moved My Cheese by Spencer Johnson. Your answer is sitting there. The answer is sitting there. The way you will know when to move, when the cheese is stale. Cheese represents different things to different people. And it's all about what is in you and what you desire and where you're going. The reason I left Coca-Cola was simply because at that point I was doing well. I was doing very well. Why would I leave Coke at the time I left to go to Cadbury? Because I wanted an experience, like you said, general management experience, and I saw it. Yes, I was a general manager at Coke, but I wanted more. I wanted to be a chief executive. And so the opportunity to turn around an ailing company like Cadbury came. They sought for me, and I went. I was privileged to lead that band, and that opened the tap for me. So it really depends on what your cheese is. So go read that book, Who Moved My Cheese by Spencer Johnson. The answers are there in black and white, because most of you, now the money, now in the mind. I hope that answers it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. All right, so this question is for the happy employee coach. I work in a government establishment and the work-life balance is poor. I get calls or messages at odd hours. I believe in maintaining a balance between work and home, and I put a defense structure by not responding to calls or mails outside work hours, although I get to respond eventually during work hours. How do I manage this situation? It seems I'm getting a less positive response lately. Thank you.
I love the question. Fantastic. I think the first thing is to understand, like I said, why were you hired? You were hired to help whoever you're working with to succeed. What does success look like to them? Right? Let's start from there. Then you have to build trust. You may have to give in the first stages, early on of working with that person, you may have to give some time of sacrifice to show that I'm committed to helping you succeed. Then you then grow it. So if you are there now, you are not a new job, go and sit down and have a conversation. Have a conversation. The thing I tell people I think that happens, and I may be wrong, I'm still trying to test this thesis, is I feel like many of us show up at work like we are suffering. There's this slavery mindset that many of us show up with. You don't know, but if you think about it, they are doing you a favor. That's how you show up. But no, employment is a two-way street. The company is gaining and you are gaining too. You are not a monkey, they walk baboon, they chop. That's not your situation. So you are not a victim. So how are you showing up? I'm here to help this person succeed. What does success look like to you? Have the conversation. Oh, I think that we need to do 1, 2, 3 this week or between this week and month end. But I won't be available on this day and on this day. But on this day, I will be available till 9 to get it done. But on this day and on that day, I won't be available. Have the conversation. Don't cower in fear and anger. So they send you, I was live on Tuesday, they send you a message. You are now there, you are angry. They are always talking. This person always frustrating me. The time you will use to just reply and move on, you are spending 1.5 hours thinking about a conversation that will never happen. You have loaded your body with adrenaline for fights that will not happen. You have processed, you have gone through the entire, when you could have either responded or just ignored. But choose your battles, build trust, sit down and have a conversation. Oh, when you send a message at 6, so I'm not able to respond till about 7:30 for XYZ reason. Sometimes clients call me and I'm in church. But do your own part to call and get the work done in time. Another thing that you lose out on is the power of the Holy Spirit, like I said when I was speaking. The power of saying, Lord, what should I say now? And how quickly can I turn around this piece of work? You have speed advantage. There are times I'm on a call, I'm talking to my boss, I'm sending an email, a team member is there, and one day he asked me, what are you even doing? We are talking on a Teams call. I just saw your email now, I was copied on the mail. It wasn't a joking mail, it was a serious email. And I know that someone was beside you. What are you doing? I say, even me. It's me and my Jesus that knows the answer. So lean into that advantage, right? And have a conversation that allows you to contribute and add value in a way that protects your peace.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. So please have a conversation. Okay, we'll just have the last round of questions. This is for Pastor Leary. Can I be a ministry gift and be called to pioneer inventions, not within the four corners of the church? If yes, how can I manage both demands in a way that glorifies God and gets his work done without overwhelm?
So, the thing about life is, just like Ms. Ineka rightly said, purpose starts everything. You must first have a clear understanding of your purpose. Why am I doing what I'm doing? Like you said, one of the things I've discovered about life is that giving you a job is not doing you a favor. You make your contribution, except some people, maybe they're actually doing you a favor. Maybe if that is the case, because they are paying you salary and you are not giving much value. Maybe that is why you feel afraid, to show up. I had a boss, and Mr. ID knows the boss. Sometimes when people have expatriates, some people ask, and then you need to understand that the person needs you. So combining things together comes with purpose. This is somebody that everything is always urgent about him. He needs this urgently, he needs this urgently. So the first time I was trying to accommodate him because he calls you 6 p.m., 7 p.m., he said he needs something urgent. And initially, like she said, you need to show commitment, like, I'm here to work. But the problem with indulgence is that when you continue to accommodate, it grows worse. You think the person will start saying, oh, I'm considerate. The day I knew the guy was overstepped, he sent me something like 8 o'clock in the morning, and I didn't see it. Sunday morning, it was when I was going to preach. I just checked my phone. He said, he will be grateful if you can get it by 12 noon. On a Sunday, I said, Wallahi, I will not answer this thing. I didn't. You see, but you must understand where you are. When I say where you are, I tell people, as a graduate trainee, you must understand. Then I was a senior manager. It was like, we were not more than 5 in the organization. I was not a director, but we are not more than 5 in that position. That was in that level. So I was like, a business of like over 400 billion naira. And I was like, no, guy, you can't send something to me. I didn't answer. So Monday, did you see that? I said, I saw it. I said, it was a Sunday. And since that time, if you call me after 7 p.m., I'm not going to pick. He said, what happened? I said, well, I was having family time. I drew the line. See, weekend is for me and my family. Sunday, if I answer, I'm only trying to do you a favor. I don't mind whether you are an expatriate, whether you are white, you are black. It doesn't concern me. Monday to Friday, I do my job. If you call me in the evening, if I feel like I pick, if I don't feel like when we meet the following, oh, I saw your missed call yesterday. What do you want? Sometimes you say, don't worry, I've sorted it out. Well, good for you. Yeah. So when I am at work, I show up 100%. But if you demand of me outside work, if I like, I will answer you. If I like, I will not. But because he has developed the reputation of always having everything urgent, I know that he's just playing on my intelligence. But every time I say, it's urgent, it's urgent. Sometimes when it's urgent, I don't answer and he fails. Because he's always making everything urgent. So you don't even know when it is urgent and it is not. So I just leave him. The one I can, I want. The one I cannot, I've done my best. So it's just have a purpose.
Yes.
You are not for the job alone. I have a family. I have a purpose, spirit. I have a church. Yes. So you cannot take all my time. That is not what I live for. Yes. That is not my life. That is not what my life is all about.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. So setting healthy boundaries, it works when you show up 100% at work. I think I also had that case when I was very early into my career, and it was a Sunday morning. I just saw a message from the CEO. Okay, be on your way to the office now. I read it, and I closed my phone. I can't be on the way. I was already in church, and she's a Christian, even if she was a Muslim. I felt like Sunday, that's way out of line. And the following Monday, I think my other colleagues went, I think it was an event or something. And they're like, Moji, you didn't come. I said, I was in church. I cannot be coming on my way on the Sunday morning. And they're like, hey, you're in soup. I said, well, let's see. And my boss never raised it. And that was the first and last time I would get a message on a Sunday morning to be coming to the office. And that's because I show up at work. They knew that I over-delivered. I go beyond, as over and beyond. So there was no question of why didn't you show up and all that. They never raised it, and I also kept quiet, like it never happened. So it's easier to set healthy boundaries when you show up. You are committed, and they can see that this person is a very committed person, very, skilled, competent, and is not just here for the paycheck. Thank you so much, sir.
One of the things that you mentioned is showing up at work. You see, we must be exemplary in the quality of the work that we deliver. When you come to work every day, I mentioned earlier, when you spend time gisting and not delivering quality, know what you want to, know what is expected per day and deliver. Number two is that, you see, in terms of setting boundaries, there are things that are very unique to us as Christians. Nobody should be able to take our Sundays. Yes. That's number one.
Yes, sir.
I even take it further. I don't miss midweek services. Not because I pastor a church. I don't miss midweek services. These things are sacred. They are sacred things. I've always, when I inherited a team, he knows the team. As I inherited the team, they were doing review on Sunday. I said, what are you discussing? I canceled it the first day. I canceled it. I said, we will meet twice during the week. And the market was declining. We grew to over 20%.
Wow.
So if you do what you need to do part-time, and as Christians, sometimes you find people who are the ones promoting these things, are people who are either nominal Christians or they go to church. We must all have this commitment where we walk. The things that are most surely believed by us, the sacred things, our worship to God,
yes,
our service to God, we must not joke with it. Like he was saying earlier, he was saying when you all these things, when you finish, you are going to stand before the master.
Yes, sir.
You're going to stand before, and we must not allow anything corrupt this thing. And that's why I'm very, very passionate about it. All of us, we have a role to play. In the place where do a good job first of all, then don't partake in some of this nonsense.
Thank you so much, sir. Yes, sir.
I recently stopped my corporate, right? And one of the first things that hits me is how the devil will not allow us as Christians to sin. He may not tempt you with sin, but he will tempt you with busyness. In the last 2-3 months, the things I've seen about my kids, the things I've heard, I'm shocked. Now, I'm an involved mom. I pray in the morning with my kids before even the days I'm going to the office, we do morning devotion. So, have context. I cook a fresh meal, maybe every 2 days at the minimum. So, and I worked in consulting for about 17 years. So, I'm not saying someone that wasn't involved. We do morning devotion every morning. You can ask my kids, every morning, right? But what the enemy is doing, affecting the next generation, is keeping us as parents busy.
Yes, true.
We are so busy, we don't see what is right in front of our nose. So everybody here, I want to ask you something, to ask the Lord, I don't have to slave this much to earn a living. Show me where my money is. Wow. Show me where my money is.
Yes.
Because we are losing the next generation. They are not seeing us prioritize praying, our own prayer time. They're not seeing us prioritize praying together as a family. Playing together, going out. When last did you go out with your children without the phone call distracting you? We are losing the next generation if we are not intentional with how we spend time with our children and model to them that there is more to life than the jobs the business that we're doing.
Yes.
Please.
Yes.
If the Satan cannot get you to sin, he will keep you busy. You won't pray. You won't show them what it means to pray. You won't show them what it means to serve God and give time to God.
Yes. Thank you so much, ma'am. Yes. I think because of time, we'll just round up with this last question. And this is a question that usually typically comes up for maybe younger graduates. I'm new at a place. The people I met there always tells me not to do more than I'm given to do. But I went in hoping to make a difference. I'm confused on whether to do as they say, because the work is something I can outdo. So please, Mrs. Nneka, help us.
I hinted on this when I was speaking, right? Some of us here, you're the one that's telling that person that thing. Some of us here, you're the one telling them, don't do too much. It's not your father's business. But if you want to go far, you have to take ownership for the work. Most of the population, there's something one of my coaches, DDK, says, there's mass mediocrity. Many of us just want to do just enough. In fact, just below enough to get by. Nobody goes far in life by doing just below the minimum. If you want to excel. And the thing is, when you do above the minimum, you get the rewards, you become a better person, and the greatest investment you can make in yourself is who you are becoming. Because that then commands and attracts value. You heard what he said. That commands and attracts value to you. You are on your own. The value seeks you out. So please, it's not your father's business, but carry it on your head.
Yes.
Carry it on your head and do it to the best of your ability. Remember what we said in Colossians 3, that every work we do, God is the one that is rewarding you. The salary is peanuts compared to your real reward.
Yes.
I promise you.
Yes.
That alert you are getting, no matter how big it is peanuts compared to the grace and the covering that God brings to you. When I was living where I was working, I was for months I was being begged not to go because of the extra value I was bringing to the table. And that is opening doors for me consistently. So please, carry the business on your head. Yes. Do it as unto the Lord and see if God will not reward you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ma. So, yes, the final words from our daddy.
Well, think of yourself, if you can go back in time when you were born, you'll see that the trajectory called life, whether it's business, career, everybody has a point of anonymity. What you do as an anonymous person is actually what will project you. And from anonymity, you get presence, and from presence, you get prominence. When you get to the place of prominence, you cannot father or lead people that you did not go through a process. So if people are telling you, treat it, don't touch it, continue, the result is waiting for you ahead. Because you are writing a letter to a future you don't see.
Yes, sir.
If you do everything diligently, you will get to the top and you'll be able to manage those at the shop floor. You'll be able to minister to them because you're called first and foremost to be a minister. When you don't have that understanding, you fall for anything. Yes, all I'll say to you guys is, listen, many of us are influenced by the company we keep. You should, and I'm going to close with this. I always talk about 3 A's. You have the first one, acquaintances, allies, and advocates. Do a check. You'll find that if you were to put maybe 10 on a score of 10, many of you sitting here will have 8, maybe 9 acquaintances, maybe 1 ally, no advocate. Acquaintances are the ones that distract you. They are the ones that make you're the one to get married, they want to do this, you must buy. They treat you and put you in a place where you begin to do the things you shouldn't do. And you forget that you need allies. But allies are your peers. Weaknesses, strengths are all married because your hands are you're looped in together. Nobody understands your weakness. Everybody sees you, but they don't know there's someone supporting you. Those are your peers. An advocate is someone who will have the totality of his equity and grace, like Jesus, to say, that's my beloved son, in whom I'm well pleased. Listen to him. If you don't build advocates are the ones that will give you trust. At the time you're a junior manager or a no manager, the bosses at the very top will be your advocates. They are the ones, when you're going up the ladder, let me tell you something, nobody promotes. It's not appraisal they used to promote.
Yes, sir.
I've been in the boardroom. I'm still in the boardroom. I was in the boardroom. I went through the boardroom. I'm in the boardroom, and I'm telling you, don't let people fool you. When your name comes up, they will look around. Larry will say, But when I go get Ngokon, that's it. Oh Lord. So if you like, think you are working for your boss. Are you anywaju? Your eyes go come when time reach. It's not for today. Someday you will learn. Now I didn't know corn we ripe. Time will tell.
Yes,
That's
sir.
all I'll say. Thank you.
Wow, amazing. Thank you so much. Please, let's celebrate them once again. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you, Pastor Larry, Mr. Anthony, Mr. ID, and Mrs. Neka. Please, we can have our seats. Thank you so much.